All right, y'all. So I woke up this morning, have a little bit of extra time. Haven't really had a plan for a video per se, but had this thought this morning and thought it might be a good idea or a good thing to talk about. How to make a build in 2K or how to make a good build in 2K. Although good being subjective, still. I want to share with you guys a few pointers. You know, what I've learned having been in the builder so much, probably more than you or more than most. Talk about a few just quick pointers that might help you make a build better for yourself. Typically, when I go through build videos, I talk about, you know, what you could change or you could take away this or this gives you that and, you know, things like that. But we're going to specifically talk about that in this video today. So that being said, I don't want to waste your time. A like, a sub, a comment, any of them, all of them, none of them, whatever, you don't have to, but it would be appreciated, especially if this video helped you in any way. It helps us here, it helps the channel grow, it helps the community grow, right? And soon we might be able to get to 1,000 subs. I think we're about to hit 700 and that's pretty sweet. We've gotten there fairly quickly and I'm kind of just winging it and giving you guys stuff at random, but it's been fun and I'm enjoying it and I appreciate all the support. So we're going to jump into this. We're going to go over this. There's no real plan. Like I said, I kind of just had this idea on the fly, but let's try. Okay, so this is where it starts, right? Obviously you got to pick your position and then you got to pick your height, but ultimately, like, these things are going to apply across the board. We're going to talk about things like, for instance, like free throw. If you put free throw to 71, that's when you get bronze free points. If you have it at 70 or anything lower, you don't get bronze free points. So we're going to talk about little things like that. So they kind of apply just across the board. I'm going to talk about the minimums for things and what I think you only need to invest to at the very minimum or at least, or even at the max, you know, not overdoing it, things like that. But we're going to start on a point guard 6'6". I don't know how, you know, crazy we're going to get into this, but this is where we're going to start. You pick your position, you pick your height. Now you're going to choose your weight and you're going to choose your wingspan, right? So I know for me as a point guard and with weight, with what I do, if you go minimum weight, you're going to get up to the 89 acceleration and the 90 speed, right? This may not make a difference in your build across the board, but I even choose weights based on how I want the aesthetic of the build to look, whether I want it to be a more slight skinny build or a more jacked build. This year in 2K, you have to work out in the gym in order to unlock different body types. So that's kind of annoying. It makes sense. Like, I'm not complaining about it, but rather than have to work out, I try to just set my body weight to an aesthetic or a build that I like. And then I just don't have to go to the gym anymore because I don't have to go to the gym anyways to unlock any of the stuff or get the extra bars and stuff. You know, I've already got them because of my rep, so I don't even go work out anymore. So when I make a build, I try to just make them exactly how I want off the rip. So if I can, then I will. A little too much there, but if I go minimum weight, I can get 89 acceleration and I can get 90 speed. Now, I don't ever go that high in speed or in acceleration on my point guards. My max speed is going to be 86, right? So I can go max weight and I'm still going to be able to get the 88 speed, right? So this is where it starts. You got to know where you stand, right? And if you're new here, that's okay. If you don't, that's why we're doing the video. But this is where it starts in the weight and things change, right? Like if we were making a big man, you get better rebounding with higher weight. Or at max weight, our rebounding goes to 79. We don't really care about that as a point guard, but I'm just saying at minimum weight, our rebound can only max out at 73. So these things make a difference. So if you know your minimums, then it makes it a lot easier. But if you don't know your minimums, hopefully this video helps you out, right? So I know that 228 is like a build body type that I like. It gives it a bit more, you know, muscle, but it's not burly or buff like the crazy super thick boy builds, but it's also not super dribble god like skinny, scrawny, slight either. And I can still get my speed and acceleration where I want, right? Because I'm only going to go up to 74 to 75 acceleration and I'm only going to go up to 86 speed. If I have extra after we do everything, then I'll invest it into those places, right? But this is where it starts. So I know I like my weight. Now you got to do your wingspan. Wingspan off the rip, I'm going to know, do I want higher shooting on this build or do I want lower shooting? For me, that's standard. Basically, my higher shooting builds are going to be a 92 mid-range with an 86 3 ball. My lower shooting builds are going to be an 86 mid-range with a 76, if I can get it, a 78 3 ball. Now we're going to go into more detail about the 76 to 78 because you don't gain anything from 76 to 78 3 ball, but percentage wise in making your shots, there is a boost. So you don't gain a badge, you don't gain anything in the build or that it says at all. But 2K Labs and, you know, some other, I think it was 2K Labs, did testing, and there is a percentage boost in your shots taken from 76 to 78 3 ball. You don't really get an upgrade from 78 to 85, I think it is, but either way, it's getting crazy already. So off the rip, this is where you start. So I know that I like a build at 228-ish in terms of the body type, and then I can still get my speed and acceleration and things where I want it as a point guard. And let's say we're gonna make a build with some higher shooting, then I can only go to 7 foot wingspan because that gets me the 92 mid-range, as you see, in the 87 3 ball. Now I'm only gonna go to 86 3 ball. So if I can save a point there and go an extra wingspan to help me on defense, then I will. But if I go up one, now I only get 91 mid-range, 85 3 ball. So 7 foot wingspan is my threshold for what I like. If I want it to be a lower shooting build, then I can just max out the wingspan. I can get the 88 mid-range with the 83 3 ball, and I'm only gonna use so much of that. I'm only gonna go to 86 mid-range most likely with a 76, possibly 78 3 ball. So let's just say we're going with the lower shooting build. That way we can kind of mess around in here a little bit more. Let's start. Okay, so off the rip, what I do personally is I put up my free throw. I know at the very minimum, I want my free throw to 71, and that's because it gets me the bronze free points. I start all of my builds personally with non-negotiables. So if we're on a point guard, we're 6'6", I'm gonna need passing. That's a passing, ball handle, speed with ball, speed and acceleration are all non-negotiables, right? I have to have those things. So for instance, like if we're talking a big man, your non-negotiables are going to be your rebounding, right? So like off the rip, I would come in here and I would invest into my rebounding. I'd go 92-80. That's what I recommend as a minimum as a big man. So I'd put 92-80 in whatever way you want. 92 defensive, 80 offensive, 92 offensive, 80 defensive. It doesn't matter. However, offensive rebound is cheaper than defensive rebound. So if you can get the offensive rebound to 92, then do that and get the defensive rebound to 80. Now you're saving points. How to set yourself up for success in that is in what we just did before. Like if I was a big man, now we're not making a big man, but when you're in here, look at your weight and what it's doing and be like, okay, I know I would prefer my offensive rebound to be higher. So how can I do that? Mess around with the arms, mess around with the weight, whatever it is, right? So those are ways already to set yourself up for success. So when you get in the builder, you can maximize your potential on the build. Where I start is 71. Now my non-negotiables are going to be passing. Now I didn't subscribe to this before, and you can look back in my old videos and I swore against it. I said 86, 87 passing is the bare minimum. 87 was the bare minimum because you need bronze bailout as a point guard, period. That's it. I no longer subscribe to that. I think bailout is an absolutely goated badge, and I do miss I miss it that I don't have it, but 77 pass accuracy is truly all you need. At least for me. I'm throwing full court dots. I'm not having any issues. You get the needle threader bronze. And the problem is pass accuracy is so expensive, and what you can invest into when you don't have such a high pass accuracy and you go with the 77 instead of the 87, you can invest into so many other things. I can invest into so much more defense, so I'm not such a liability on defense. I can invest into more offense. I can invest into a lot of things. Like passing is so expensive. One of the most expensive, if not the most expensive things in the builder, at least for a point guard. So the benefit that you get by not investing to that 87 is just worth it. So you can totally go with the 77 and you'll be good. So for me, non-negotiables, I'm going to go 77 pass accuracy. I know I'm going to go 85 ball handle. I know I'm going to go 75 speed with ball. I know I'm going to go 86 speed. And I know I'm going to go at least 74 acceleration. Depending on where we go with perimeter, maybe I go higher to get the fast feet where I need to go to 77 acceleration. But even that, even just knowing things like that, like, oh, if I want better defense, then, you know, I'm going to put the speed up, or I'm going to put the strength up in order to get the clamps. Know things like that. And if you don't know them, it's totally fine. Hopefully this build helps you, or hopefully this video helps you, sorry. But you can look it up and you can be like, okay, so what do I need for this? What do I need for that? And when you know that, it's going to help you make builds so much better. Right? Because you already come in here and you know what you want, you know what you need, and where you can sacrifice and where you can't, right? So this is where I start. Non-negotiables for me as a point guard, I'm gonna need the 99 stamina and everything else we just invested into. Now, I can do whatever I want with all the remaining points. I don't have to start from the top and work my way to the bottom and be like, oh no, I need to put this down because I have to have this. And I already know what I have to have and I've already set it. Now we can do whatever we want, right? So this is how I go about making a build. You know, do it this way if you want. This isn't going to help you make a good build per se. What's going to help you make a good build is like knowing the things like, okay, I know I can get away, you know, with the 85 ball handle, 75 speed with ball. I know 86 speed is good. I know the 71 free throw is going to give me free points. If you go to 70 or anything lower, you're not going to get it. So like knowing little things like that or looking them up before or while you're in your build are going to help you really maximize your build to its potential. I'll see a lot of people with builds to where it's like they'll have an 84 3 ball. Right? Let's make these arms smaller just so I can show you guys something. I see a lot of people and they'll only have an 84 3 ball. Like we'll go up against them, they'll have an 84 3 ball and they'll have like a 87 mid range. And like that's how their build's set, right? I don't know anything else in the build, whatever. But if you go to 85 3 ball, you get limitless range bronze. And limitless range is that's the whole point of going past a 78 3 ball, really. 78 to 85. You get Claymore, and then other than Claymore, at 85 you get Gold Corner Specialist and you get the Bronze Limitless Range. There's like that's the Limitless Range is the reason. And I'll see people with an 84. Can you still hit with an 84? Absolutely, but you're 1 point away from Limitless Range. So knowing these things is going to help you really maximize your build to its fullest potential. So you really got to look over, you know, at this right side and see like, okay, well, what am I actually getting for this? You know, like, what am I actually investing into this? Do I actually need that at this? Well, 88 or, you know, 86 to 87, I gain nothing. So why did I do that? Things like that. Don't waste points. Now, how I'll go to making a build. My minimums personally for shooting are 86-78. The minimum is going to be 86-76 because you don't gain anything from 76 to 78. But you do gain a percentage boost, which has been tested by 2K Labs, and it's absolutely worth it. And even before I knew that test was a thing, I randomly made a build with a 78 3 ball, and I was like, I feel so much more greener on this than my 76. Like, I don't know why. So at that point, people were like, well, then maybe 79. I think it's like 78 or 85. And honestly, if you're going to go to 85, go to 86 because 86 is going to get you gold, bronze, or 86 is going to get you silver agent 3, as you can see right here on the side, right? So for me, my minimums are 78 on a 3 ball or 86. And if you're going past 86, then I don't know. I've never even made a build with a higher than 86, but I'd probably say like 94, I think is usually where people go at, like if they're past 86. So either way, 86, 78, I know are my minimums. Now, if you're on a 6-8 build, if you go to, the only way you're going to get gold unpluckable is at 92 post control. So that's a good little thing to know. On a 6-6, you don't need that. I only get silver unpluckable, but on most of, like on all my 6-6s, I only get silver unpluckable. I could get gold if I max out the post control to 92, but I don't, because on a 6-6, you truly don't need the gold unpluckable, and I don't feel a difference. On a 6-8, maybe, you know, invest into the post control, which is super, super cheap, by the way, and just get that gold unpluckable. So we put this from 0 to 92, and it took us 2 points. And now we have gold unpluckable. Plus, we have all these other badges. And even if you don't work on the post, if you're on a bigger build and you're going to handle the ball a bit more, I think it's worth it to go ahead and get that gold unpluckable if you can afford it, you know. But totally up to you. Let's talk about defense. Perimeter defense, my minimums are going to be 85 on perimeter. Same with steal. If you're going to invest into it, my minimum is going to be 85. That's just me. That's just what I've found to work. But this is going to get you silver everything, right? And on perimeter, it's going to get you silver everything, but you get the gold off-ball pest, and off-ball pest is a great badge. So these are going to be my minimums. If I would go higher on perimeter, if I'm just going to bump it up a little, maybe I have extra points, whatever, I'll go to 87. That gets you gold challenger. Challenger is a great badge. Or you're just going to go up to like really 94 if you're going to try and be an elite defender. If not, and you're going to leave the perimeter at 85 and steal up to 91, which is typically what I do, that gets you gold everything on steal. If you know the way you play, which for me, I could probably go with not investing into the 91 steal and saving the points. But really, I would just only go down to 89. And at that point, I'm usually just like, whatever, I'll just go 91. Why 89? I know the way that I play. I play passing lanes more than I get on ball plucks and things like that. So the gold interceptor is going to benefit me the most out of all of these badges. Everything else being gold, I don't really need it. You know, you figure that out towards the end of the build. I'm like, oh, well, you know, I actually do want this higher 3-ball, or I do want, you know, plus one more attribute here. And if I take away from steal, I can get it, or whatever it is. I just know my thresholds. I know I'm either going to go with 85, 89, or 91. And I'm comfortable to go with any of those. So depending on how I end up wanting to build towards the end of it, I know what I can take from, rather than go in here and like, okay, let me start from the top and let me pull from this, or maybe I'll pull from that, but oh, I took this down and it made that go down, right? Because that's what happens when you put certain things up or down. They put other things up or down, right? So I know the things that I can mess with comfortably. If you're going to invest into perimeter, this is another thing to know. What you notice is we don't get clamps at all. Why? We don't have any strength. Put your strength up to 50, you're gonna get the silver clamps. Now you're good. So knowing things like this, like people might invest into this perimeter and they might have no strength, and then they just don't even get the clamps. You know, maybe they know, maybe they just don't care, whatever. It doesn't matter. But knowing things like this, and hopefully, you know, this is teaching you or showing you something you didn't know. This is gonna help you maximize your build's potential, and know what you need to invest into, and not overdo it and not underdo it. At 50 strength, I know I get the clamps. I don't need to go any higher. However, if I invest in driving layup on this build, I'm not gonna get fearless finisher until I get 55 strength, right? So I typically go with a high layup on my builds. So if I go with the 80 layup, look, we don't get fearless finisher at all. Next upgrade is bronze. So I'm gonna have to put it up to 55. But if I have 60 strength, I get it to silver. Fearless finisher is a goated badge, and I really enjoy it. That's my play style. So I'm going to invest in that 60 strength. But knowing these things, like, you could have the high layup and then you don't invest in the strength, and instead you put your 3-ball to 82 for no real reason other than you think it's going to help you, right? But you could have not put the 3-ball up, and you could have invested, you know, a couple points into strength and gotten the silver fearless. Now you're maximizing everything, right? So when you know these things, which I keep repeating, it just helps you, and it really helps you maximize your build, because you might have a good build, but it might just be missing a couple things because you didn't know, or you didn't realize, or whatever it is. But, you know, you invested in, you know, 85 perimeter, but you didn't invest into any strength, so you don't even have clamps. So knowing things like that is going to help you. I don't personally invest into interior. Even on my bigs, I don't invest into interior really. Like at the most, I'm going to get anchor, which is going to take like a 61 interior defense, I believe it is. And it's going to naturally, my interior defense is already going to go up based off of like all my rebounding and block and all that. It's going to naturally put up my interior a bit. Like even perimeter ups interior, right? So it'll up interior to around like 50 or something, and at that point it's like just invest the extra points and get the 61 because you're so close and you are a big man. So like at the very minimum, get that 61 for that bronze anchor, which is a really, really good badge. What else do we have here? Standing dunk is something, right? Standing dunk is super, super cheap, and driving dunk, this is actually a big topic. So let's just bring this down just that way. Whatever about ball handle and all that. Driving dunk to 36 is going to give you like 2 rim grazer dunks, but like if you're not looking to finish at the rim, but on a fast break, you want to at least be able to go up and dunk, you know, just that way it's safe and you don't get swatted or something like that. And like whatever, 36 driving dunk is all you need to invest into. Dunk is very, very expensive, so don't overdo it. Don't go to 37. There's literally no point. The only other way you get more, I believe, is if you go to 40, and that'll get you CJ McCollum. And then if you go to 50, that'll get you Ginobili. And if you go to 55, that'll get you Klay Thompson. And then there's a few other like just normal dunks in between there, but I already know those are my thresholds, right? Minimum, if you're going to invest into it, go to 36. Important to know here, a lot of people will invest into standing dunk. You have to go to 40 to unlock one package. 45 is going to get you the 2 packages you pretty much need just to get a standing dunk when you need it and you're done. 65, if you use standing dunks fairly regularly, 65 will unlock you Ben Simmons, and it's kind of the standard for minimum standing dunk if you're really going to invest into it, and like it's something you use often. But if you don't invest into any driving dunk, you're not going to trigger a standing dunk. And no, you can't just invest 26 or 27. You have to invest 36. Otherwise, you're not going to trigger any of your standing dunks. So now you've invested into standing dunk, which is pretty cheap, but still for no reason. And you've wasted those points because you're not even going to trigger them at all. So another little thing there, I guess, to note. Free throw. Now the free throw thresholds. Next upgrade is silver. That'll get you silver free points. Next upgrade is 90. That'll get you gold free points. And then the next upgrade is 99. That'll get you Hall of Fame free points. Free points is a legit badge, and free throws are not free. I say that in almost all of my videos. So if you can invest into high free throw, I would. Now, if it's a park build, I'm going to go to 71. But if I'm making a build that's more for pro AM 5s, or like I'm going to be in the rec with it all the time, I am going to go as high on free throw as possible. And I'm talking like all the way to 99. Like, and honestly, it's probably it's one of the best feelings for me personally, like going to the free throw line and knowing I'm going to hit every single one pretty much. Like I'm going to hit my free throws. And a lot of games do come down to the free throws, and everyone on our team, if we're running like a proper lineup that's for the rec or for pro AM 5s, everyone at least has 81, if not 95 or higher free throws. So like when we get fouled in the end of the game and it's close, all of us are hitting our free throws, you know, and it's great. And it happens very, very often. So free throw is very underrated. It's something I definitely would say you should invest into. And it's so freaking cheap that you can just invest into it and it doesn't really affect you. So at the minimum, yes, I'm going to go 71, but free throw isn't like pass accuracy. You can max that thing out to 99 and it's not going to take anything from you. Whereas like if I put my pass accuracy up to 86, it's going to limit me a lot on my build. So let's talk about block. Block, for me personally, like if you're really going for block, let's just change this and make this like a different build just so that we can get some higher block here. 78 block is my minimum on all my builds. Even on my big men, I'm completely comfortable with 78 block. I get a lot of chase downs. I even get snatch blocks. This is a tough video. 78 blocks enough for me. I get chase downs, I get snatches, all of that. Even on an undersized big, I run a 6'8" point center, which I have a video on, but 78 block is more than enough for me personally. But just read these things on the side. Next upgrade gold, 87 block plus a 65 speed or 66. We already have 79, so we're good there. We need to invest more into vertical, and we need to invest more into block in order to get the upgrade. Can we afford it? I don't know where you're at in this point of your build, but that's what you got to look at. So for me, 78 block is my minimum. However, if you go to 79, you get bronze pogo stick. Another just good thing to know. A good way to kind of like, if you don't know this, one, read stuff on the side. Like actually don't just go, oh, I want chase down artists, and then only look at chase down artists. What does it take for anchor? What does it take for pogo stick? Okay, well, my interior defense by default is already at 59. At 61, I get bronze anchor. Do I have extra points? Yes, I do. Okay, well, instead of investing them into more pose control, let's say, or putting my free throw to 80, which doesn't really do anything, actually, put it into the interior and just get the anchor. If that's the way you play, if you think you're going to be down there, if you're making a 6'9" build, you're probably going to help a bit more defensively. Interior defense, you're already at 59 by default. Maybe just go to the 61 or not. Like you don't have to, but this is how you're going to utilize and get the most out of your build. Do I play that way? Well, I'm not going to invest into it. Yeah, it's cheap. It's only 2 points, but I'm just going to put those points here into free throw instead. Because I'd rather, let's say get to the 80 for the silver. And I don't really care about interior because I'm never down there. I'm always on the fast break. Then don't invest into the interior, whatever. But if you can't invest into it and you do see yourself down there very often and you're only 2 points away from getting the bronze anchor, which is a goated badge, go ahead and get it. So just look at things, right? So look at anchor. Oh, it only takes to 61. By default, I'm at 59. Pogo stick, 79 block, I get a bronze. I'm at 78 because I have to be at 78 for the silver chase down. I'm going 79 personally because pogo stick is going to help you recover. So chase down artist doesn't just help with chase down, it helps with blocks. So the pogo stick, it just takes you 79 block and you're already at 78. Just invest into it. For me personally, I'm already in a blockers mentality. Like I'm here to get blocks. I've already invested into the chase down. So if I end up down in the paint and a guy's doing pump fakes on me and I jump, and let's say I don't invest the 1 point for this pogo stick and I jump, and then he gets me on the jump and then he goes up and I don't recover fast enough to get the block, that's a bummer because I'm only 1 point away from pogo stick, which helps me recover faster to get the block. which is what I want in the mentality and the mindset that I'm already in, right? So is bronze pogo stick like crazy goated? No, like you don't have to have it, but it's 1 point. And is it worth it? Yes, I think so, because I jump at times and absolutely I recover and the bronze pogo stick pops up and I'll get the block and sometimes even a snatch out of that recover. So totally worth it. Again, just something to know and just like something to do. Just look at these things. Oh, like I said, I'm only 2 points away from getting the bronze anchor. That's how I play. I end up down there. I think it's worth it. There we go. We're going to invest into it. And so on. So we talked about the driving dunk. We talked about the standing dunk. Let's say you go with layup. The best thing to know about layup is what packages you're going to unlock. I know at 80, you unlock Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler for me is the best. Like Jimmy Butler has some of the best floaters in the game, if not the best floaters in the game. And I utilize floaters a lot. So if I'm going to invest into layup, then I'm going to go to 80. I know at 81, I get DeMar DeRozan, which I also have made a build with DeMar DeRozan and have a video on that layup package specifically. That layup package is very, very glitchy, very, very cheesy. You get animations that pull you from the free throw line. It's almost like LeBron James dunk package, but in a layup package. Like it's pretty sweet. I have a video, I'll link it. But I know that that's another package that I really like. Now, if I'm going to go higher than that, at the bare minimum, I'm probably going to go to 87 because I know that unlocks LeBron James layup package, which to me is the best combo of both Jimmy and DeMar DeRozan. Jimmy has really good floaters, finishes well at the rim, but doesn't get the glitchy, cheesy animations. DeMar DeRozan gets the glitchy, cheesy animations, but it doesn't really have great floaters. I don't really like them at all. LeBron James is the best of both. Not as glitchy and cheesy as one of DeMar's, but across the board, very glitchy and cheesy. Yanks you also, kind of from free throw line and whatnot. And the floaters, way cheesier, like even way more cheesy and like really, really good, great animations for floaters, easy to time. So at the very least, I'm gonna go to 87. So from 87, I haven't made a build with anything higher than 87, but what I'm gonna look at, well, one, we want Fearless Finisher, right? We're at 87 layup, and the next upgrade to silver is 60, but at 87 driving layup, you can get gold Fearless Finisher. So if you're looking to finish elite, at the rim with your layups, and you've invested into the layup and you're not really investing finishing elsewhere or whatever, you're going to need to up that strength to 65 to get the gold Fearless. Just another good thing to know and things to look at. Like, look at your badges and see what it takes. Initially, it's a lot. You got to read all this stuff and you have no frame of reference and you're like, what the hell? But if you're making more builds, or you just spend some time in the build, or just in general, whether you're actually making a build or not, you just get in here, mess around, you'll learn these things. And then when you do make a build, you'll just be better prepared. So 87 is going to get you that really good badge is float game, and you get that at 88. So I'm not going to go to 88 for a package per se, and I'll probably wait because I don't have an issue with my floaters. But if we top this build out and I have some extra points and I can invest in a driving layup, maybe I'll just put that up 1 point to get the Hall of Fame float game, because I do utilize floaters a lot. So why not? I just keep repeating myself, but it just helps you when you know this stuff. And hopefully this is helping you guys, me sharing this, and maybe you can look back at this video, and be like, oh yeah, that's what it took for that. But if anything, just Google it in terms of like dunking, like Google, what packages do you unlock? Like 86 driving dunk is like the best. Like if you're really trying to finish at the rim, contact dunks and meter dunks, 86 is where you want to be. And if you're going to go higher than that, I'd just go to 94. If you're like 6'10 and like more big man, then I think you basically go to 96, if I remember correctly. But just good things to know. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch a lot of Laker Fan. I watch a lot of Joe Knows. And I take, information from those videos that I watch, and then, just making builds on my own and being in the builder, you just start, familiarizing yourself with it. So it becomes easier the more you're in here, obviously, but hopefully this, this video helps you out. So driving dunk, if we're going to invest into it, like I said, if you go to 40, you get CJ McCollum. If you go to 50, you get Ginobili, which is a very, very good package in the game. If you go to 55, you get Klay Thompson, which is also a very good package. If you're talking budget, I can invest into this and I just want to have some dunking. Those are good thresholds to be at, but dunking is very, very expensive. Now for me, if I really want to finish at the rim, be able to get a back door, I'm not looking for meters, but I'm looking to consistently finish at the rim, even if there's traffic, I'm going to go up to 75. If you go up to 75 and you up your vertical to 70, as you can see right here, right on the right, you can get posterizer. Posterizer is going to help you posterize your opponent, right? So we need 70 vertical at least. These things are expensive, right? But for me, my minimum, if I want to effectively finish at the rim, it's going to be 75. You get great packages, and I can finish, with back doors. I can finish even in traffic. If I break a guy off and I get to the, rim, but he's going to get a chase down on me, I can finish at the rim and dunk it, not go up for the layup. So for me, I like 75 a lot. If I'm not at 75, you're basically making like a dunking build. And at that point, you're going 86, like I said, or you're going 94. But 75 is, if you're talking, you don't want to meter dunk on everyone and go crazy, but you want the best bang for your buck, like best budget. I'm going to finish consistently and I'm willing to invest into it. I just go 75 personally. I have builds right now with 40, and I'm like, I should have just left it at 36 and saved the points, because the CJ McCollum dunk package is like, it's a good package. The point is it's just not triggering often. Like if you don't have a higher dunk, it's not going to trigger when you want it to trigger. At least for me, maybe I'm just not good at triggering. But when I put my dunk anything below 75, it just doesn't work. I've got builds with it at 40. I've got builds with it at 55. I just don't trigger the dunks, especially because my layup is usually high too. So my layup's usually higher than my dunk. So I'm getting more layups than I am dunks, unless I go ahead and I get that 75 dunk, and now I can get them both as much as I want, so to speak. So that's just me personally, and that's just my experience, but just some more stuff to know. Let's say you are making a point guard, and I do have a new point guard build, and I am going to make a video on it, a full video with clips and everything. But let's say you're making a point guard. Let's say we're gonna make a point guard a 6'6". Things that you wanna know as a point guard is you wanna know your speeds, right? So let's put our non-negotiables up, go through this again. This is gonna go to 85. This is gonna go to 75. Oops, now I'm messing everything up here. See how like all these things are being adjusted now? So that is something to know too. Like if you put this up and you're looking over at the right, you're like, oh, well, I get killer combos at 87. Nah, I don't care. I'm just going to stay at 85. But you don't realize it just upped your close shot and your driving layup. Now you've got that. Let's say you don't invest into those. Now these are up for no reason, because at bare minimum, they only need to be at 65, 45. So just pay attention, of what's going on in the builder. 75 there. Our speed, we're going to put it to 86. And our acceleration, we're going to 74. There's tests about acceleration that just say basically from 74 and up, there's really no difference. If you're on 6'8 builds, I think there's a lot more difference than if you're on a 6'6, but on a 6'6, you can really get away with a lot. With 85 ball handle, 75 speed of ball. Now, I have a video literally of a build with the gold blow by and the gold speed booster, which that requires 92 ball handle, 83 speed with ball, 83 acceleration. Right? I only know that because I just read it right here on the side. I have a build now that is set up just like how you see here, and I feel just as fast. One, I've gotten better with dribble moves and just making it work, but also like at 6'6", you can really get away with a lot. You can really get away with a lot. And when you don't invest this ball handle and the speed of the ball and these things higher, because ball handle is expensive, pass accuracy is super expensive, all these things are expensive. So not investing into those gives me so much more opportunity to be so much more of a threat elsewhere on both defense and offense, because now I haven't overkilled it here, because I know what I personally am capable of and what a build is capable of with these ratings. A good thing to do is watch other creators. I also watch this guy Koza a lot. He's crazy, like dribble god, park god, whatever you want to call it, right? He's really good. He's the guy you look at on 2K and you're like, wow, like I wish I could do that. Don't compare yourself to other people and be like, oh, I'm gonna make that build and I'm gonna be able to do that. That's not what I'm saying. But they definitely show you what a build is capable of. And if you know that that build is capable of that and you're willing to get better, you can make a build a lot more well-rounded. I used to make builds with super high ball handle because I wasn't good at dribbling the ball and I would always get ripped. Well, I stopped investing in a high ball handle. I got a little bit better at the game and just dribbling and whatnot. And now I have so much more points to invest elsewhere. So for me, for starters, like this is like, if I'm making a point guard, these are pretty much my minimums. I can put things up from here. I won't really take them down from here. Maybe strength I'll take down if I don't end up investing in the layup and I don't need the fearless finisher, and I can put it to 50 just for the clamps. But oh my god, dude. Super random video. My allergies are acting up and my eyes are like super itchy, but don't really know where we got or how this is gonna end up. But just in general, I guess how to make a good build is going to be the best one for you, and how to make the best build for yourself is by knowing your playstyle And then from there, it's just familiarizing yourself in the builder and just like looking things up or taking the time to like scroll through these different things on the side and see like, oh, you know, what does this take? What does that take? Do I need that? So like, if you don't know it, that's totally fine, but look it up. Like every time I make a build that has dunk, I'll look it up on Google, or my buddy who's always in the Discord with me has like a 2K Labs membership and whatnot. I'll ask him like, you know, I'm towards the end of my build. My dunk right now, let's say, is at 50, but I can put it to 57. What do I get there? And he'll be like, oh, well, if you go to 55, you get Klay Thompson, but anything under or after that, you're not going to gain anything. From 55 to 57, you won't gain anything. And from 50 to 54, you won't gain anything. But at 55, you gain this. And I'm like, oh, well, I can put it to 57. So whatever, I have extra points. I'll at least just put it to 55. And then I'll see where else do I have points that I can invest. Oh my gosh, my eyes. So looking things up like that on Google, or, you know, asking someone or getting your own membership to 2K Labs, whatever it is, those are going to help you. So for me, these are my minimums, right? And I know that they're non-negotiable. My strength is always going to be 55 because I love layups. So I'm always going to put my layup up to 80. Oh, actually my strength is always pretty much going to be 60 because I know I invest in the layup, and that's going to get me the silver fearless finisher. So these are my minimums now. The 86, 74, 60, 56, I believe that's just by default because of the speed. 85, 75, 77, 71 free throw. At the bare minimum, if I can go higher, I'm going to. And most likely you will be able to go higher because it's so cheap. But these are like my minimums minus the layup. But usually my strength is going to be at 60 because I'm going to invest in the layup. And then from there, I'm going to, if it's a higher shooting build, which this one is, so I would probably just go to 92. My 3 ball, I would go to 86. That's going to get me the bronze or the silver agent 3. I don't like being a liability on defense, and I actually prefer, like, defense is the funnest thing for me to play. Being a floor general and facilitating and then playing defense are my 2 favorite things. I could care less if I score a point or not. If I had like 20 assists and steals and blocks or rebounds, that's what I would go for, which sounds like a big man, but I like being the primary ball handler as well because I have a control issue. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm probably going to do this. I can either go to 85 on the steal, 89, like I said, for the gold interceptor, or we can just go up to 91. Let's say we go to 91. This is starting to look a lot like my build that I have made that I'm going to make a video on, so I don't want to give it away. But right now we're at 95 of 99. I am not going to invest in the driving dunk. Let's say we don't invest into the driving dunk. So shoot, let's just go to 87 for the layup. Why not? You get the LeBron like we talked about. I like scoring in the post, so I'm going to go to 85. Because why not? That gets you the Hall of Fame post fade phenom, which is actually the only thing I do in the post is post fades. So we're at 96, right? So like, I mean, is everything really where I want it here? And this is also where I'll get into a build, and this is a good way to end. Towards the end of a build, this is where I get. Well, I'm at 87 now, so I need to put my strength up to get the gold fearless finisher. And we're still only at 96. So now I'm like, okay, what do I want to invest into? Like, I pretty much have everything right now on this build where I want. I know I'm not gonna invest in a driving dunk, and if I'm not investing in a driving dunk, then I'm not investing in a standing dunk because they're not gonna trigger anyways. My free throw is already at the bare minimum, which is cool. I don't care about interior defense. I'm at 96 of 99. My speed is up, so something I like investing into. Speed is elite in this game, just in general. It doesn't matter what position you're in. So if you can up your speed, I think you definitely should. So we're at 96 of 99. I could definitely up my speed, but I want to look elsewhere and see, you know, what else could I invest into for me and what I like. Shoot, I'd probably just go ahead and go to, I would want 94 perimeter, but you can't get it. At least not with the 85 post control, but I don't really care about post control. So if I put this down, if I take it down all the way, which actually is a bummer, I would at least like 65. That way I could get post fade phenom silver. But if I do take it down, I can go with 94 perimeter. Now I'm a pretty elite defender on the perimeter with steal and perimeter defense. Locks are running 94 perimeter, usually 99 steal, but 91 is absolutely like totally good enough. So that's one way to do it. Now let's say we don't do that. We keep this at 85. Perimeter is more expensive than steal. So we'll bring this down. Let's see what we can do with this. We can go to 97 steal if we want. or at least 95 and get the interceptor, because that's the way I play. But I probably wouldn't do that just because steal also is so expensive, and I would just want to be a bit more well-rounded personally. So I think upping the speed is cool because that's going to help you on defense anyways. Maybe 87 for the gold challenger here. We got the 91 steal. That's good. This is there by default. It's not going to make a difference in speed with ball or ball handle. If you want, you know, like if you play this way, you can totally go up and, you know, get the killer combos or the ankle breaker or any of those things. But for me, I don't play that way, so I'm not going to invest into it. We can probably invest into post control now. So we can go ahead and put that up like we had it to 85. We can invest into free throw. We can max that out. Now we got 99. And in general, like, if you're talking about what a point guard can do, you have elite shooting, you have elite finishing. Whether you think it's elite or not, I promise you it's elite. You do not need dunk, and a lot of comp guards, and I am not one, but a lot of comp guards who are running pro-am in tournaments, like all of that, are not running dunk at all. It's just not their job. And that's the best thing about having a full team, a proper team of 5. Everyone should fulfill their role. Even me as a point guard, like, I shouldn't even have to have defense this crazy high because we're going to have a lock on the team who's going to be the primary ball defender. But I personally enjoy being a primary ball defender, and just in playing defense, I don't want to, if we're in a zone, I don't want to be on the hash. I want to be up pressuring the ball. I don't want to be a liability. So for me personally, I like this, but like you'll see a lot of point guards that don't really have a lot of defense like this at all. Like this is overkill for them because they'll invest into more offensively and so that and higher passing. And if it was a comp setting, I would also invest into higher passing, but we weren't making this for that. But they'll invest into, you know, very little if no defense, and they'll, you know, up their dunk so they can be a bit better at finishing, or they'll put their dunk to 36 and their standing dunk super high so they can get, you know, they can play the hash if they need to, or the back door. But for me, this is probably about where I'd put it. Now, if I was making a park build, which my build that I'm going to make a video on is a version of this, but more for park, I'm going to invest into block, and I'm going to put it to 68 to get the bronze chase down, and I'm going to invest into rebound, and I'm going to put it to 60 so that I can get the defensive rebound chaser bronze. That's for park, right? And park, that's for 3s, 2s, 1s. Park, you want to be very, very well rounded. So I definitely would invest into block, because even though you're 6'6", investing into block and getting that chase down bronze also helps you with guarding the perimeter. Contest when you're jumping to guard the perimeter. Having higher block gives you much better animations. Just like having higher steal gives you much better animations. When you have no steal and you try to get a pluck, you go flying into the stands. Even if you put those badges on bronze, you're gonna get better animations. Is it worth it? I don't know. I think if you're gonna invest into steal, you should just invest into steal. But yeah, if you have the points, whatever. I mean, why not? If it's gonna give you better animations and you're spamming all the time, but you invest in majority of your stuff elsewhere, why not? For me, I would invest into rebound into block if it was like for park. But if we're talking, you know, this is for rec, I'd be pretty happy with this, or about right where it's at, and you can kind of put the rest wherever you want. This is where you get to play, and this is where it starts becoming fun because you already have all of your minimums met. You already have your ball handle and all your things. So like, yeah, I can put it up, but it's at, like, I know I can play very well and reliable with where it's at. So where can I put these points? And this is where it gets interesting, because I'm like, well, I want to max out perimeter to 94, but it's 1 tick away. And it's like, well, what do I have to take away from to get it to 94? And is it going to be worth it? Let's talk about that. So I had to take post control away, right? But let's say I don't take post control away and I keep post control to 85, but I still want to get this up. I can take away from steal, but I still only get it 93. It's like, if I don't go for silver agent 3 and I only go for bronze, I can put it to 94. And that's where it gets interesting. And like, that's something I personally would be okay with sacrificing, because I don't shoot 3s as much as I attack the mid range, even when I have a high 3 ball. And it's something I'm working on in my play style, but I just look for the mid range so much and attack the mid range so much. And when I look back on clips and stuff, I'm like, you know, I hit my midi shot, I broke a guy off or whatever it is, I got open and I hit my shot, but I had 2 open shots at the 3-point line that I didn't even realize, because I'm just hunting so much looking in the mid-range, which is something I want to change. But that being said, I would totally take away and get rid of the silver agent 3 personally, just because I know how I play, and invest it into that 1 point more on the perimeter. And that's because I love defense, and I know I don't shoot 3s that much. Even if I'm like shooting threes often in a game, it's 3 to 4 shots from the 3-point line, 11 to 12 to 15 shots in the mid range, or, you know, on a fast break or whatever. And maybe I take 3 or 4 threes. So I'm okay with putting that 3-point down and investing in that perimeter. I love being an on-ball defender, and perimeter defense is elite. And for a long time, people said, oh, perimeter's not even that good this year, blah, blah, blah. Perimeter is very good, and you don't even have to have high strength in order to be an elite perimeter defender. If you have high perimeter, it's going to stop the guy, even if they're stronger than you, all that. If you have perimeter defense, we'll cut that. And I absolutely stand by that. So high perimeter absolutely is worth it. And I used to think it wasn't. You don't have to have it, which is why typically I run 85, just because then I can invest elsewhere offensively or passing or whatever it is. And I'm good on the perimeter, and like I'm just a good defender just in general on the perimeter. So I know I can run 85 and still be elite. I don't have to have the 94. But if I could get the 94, like I think about it all the time, like, man, I really want to build this just like a 94 perimeter and like a 91 or 99 steal, but still a point guard. Like, how do I do this? Video kind of got out of hand. Don't really know if it helped anyone at all. Again, kind of just winging it, but that's how I go about it when I jump into the builder. That's how I think about things. And that's how I kind of make a build. And once you get to the end, once your minimums are already set, now you can kind of just be free and do whatever you want. Let's say we put the steal up to 91 like we had it. We're at 97. We've got our 3-ball, so we're up to 98. Everything's pretty much where I want it. I don't really care about dunk, but I can get 36 dunks, so hey. Everything's pretty much where I want it. If I invest into 36 driving dunk, which you have to have 36 in order to actually be able to get a driving dunk, you have to be at 36. I'm like, well, I can invest into the 36 and I don't care about dunk, but everything else is set how I want. And this just makes me a little bit more efficient on a fast break. And I can do it. Like, everything's where I want. I don't have to take away from anything. I don't have to do any of that. All my minimums, all my non-negotiables, they're all met. We're at 98 of 99 and we can still put the dunk to 36. Whatever, do it. Why not? So boom, now we got that to 36, and that's where you can start having fun and just messing with stuff and just really knowing, like, even there, like, I don't care about dunk. I don't want dunk, but I know that all you need is 36 in order to finish, and my build is where I want it. Let me see. Can I get driving dunk to 36? Oh yeah, I can. Dang, well, I might as well. I mean, it's gonna help me on a fast break, I guess, so that's cool. You can't go any higher. You can't go to 40, which gets you CJ McCollum, but whatever. 36 is all you need. Well, my driving dunk's up, so should I put my standing dunk up? You can only get to 39. You need at least 40 to get a standing dunk. Are you willing to take away from anything else? Or can you? Because we've been messing around like so much. Yeah, look, like we were messing around so much. This was way higher than it needed to be just because we upped something else. So this is something I do too. I'll like go through and double, triple check, like, is everything at its minimum requirement that it needs to be at? Does this have to be here? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. 92, 86, that's what I want. 70, yep, these are my non-negotiables. Oh, this doesn't have to be here. Okay, cool. Oh, I get to bring that all the way down. This does have to be there. Speed, we put it to 88. We only needed it at 86, but we're gonna leave it. 74 acceleration, cool. The strength for the fearless finisher, yeah, that stays. Vertical does have to be there because of speed. Okay, cool. So now, sick. I could get the driving dunk to 36, and I can get the standing dunk pretty high. I don't really, let's just say, I don't really want to invest in anything else. I know that 65 standing dunk is a pretty good standing dunk that gets you the Ben Simmons package and whatnot. From like 6'5 to like 6'10, like that's a good standard that a lot of like even comp players are running, the 65 standing dunk. So I'm like, man, everything's where I want it. I got my driving dunk to 36, and now I can put the standing dunk to 65. I don't really care about that, and it's not really my play style, but I guess if I need it, now I have it. Sweet. What else can I put up? Not this. Okay. Well, things that I think are worth investing into when you get down to this like nitty gritty like this, we've already maxed our free throw. We can put the post control to 92. So why not? We don't really have much to work with anyways. And now we're only going to be able to invest into like right here anyways. If we don't invest into that post control and we just keep it at the 85, the other things I would invest into just because why not would be like acceleration. Even though you can only go to 75, why not? No point in putting anything into strength. Doesn't do anything for you. no point in doing anything into vertical. Doesn't do anything for you. So for me, I would just go ahead. I mean, I would probably look up, you know, what do I get from 65 to 73 standing dunk? Because you get all these badges. So these badges are probably worth it, honestly, if you're going to have it. And the only other thing I'm going to invest into is post control. So right there is like where I would think like, okay, well, do I want the 92 post control, which gets me gold unpluckable? If I was 6'8", yes, but I'm 6'6" and I don't care. So honestly, I know that for me, 85 is all I want. 85 is all I need. Whatever, why not? We're going to get all these badges bronze. Why not? And now we just have to invest elsewhere. Offense rebound. Let's see what we made. I don't even know what this build is. We just freestyled this, but this is what we made. I don't think it's a horrible build. You get shades of CJ McCollum, Marcus Smart, Kirk, and it is a 3-level threat. So cool, right? But that's how I do a build. That's my process. And if you want to, you know, get into making builds a little bit more, understanding it a little bit more, hopefully this build helped you, or hopefully this video helped you. So to wrap it up for like the 4th or 5th time, just know your minimums. What do you need in general, whether you already know that or whether you just learned it here, like, oh, I'm a 6'6" point guard. Cool, that's all you need. You know, sweet. I'm gonna make something with that. And if I didn't give you enough information, just jump in the comments and be like, yo, so why is that all you need? And I'll tell you like, well, at 6'6", I mean, now I'm gonna answer it. At 6'6", you're still getting the speed boost. You're still just as fast. Speed boost for silver, all that stuff, unpluckable silver. It's like literally just, it's all you need. You don't need more. Like for instance, the acceleration at 74 to 75, like, or whatever, there's no difference. There's been tests on it. There's no difference. So either way, know your minimums. And if you don't know them, you know, figure them out, watch videos, look stuff up on 2K Labs, whatever it is, get the information, then jump in here and then just start reading this stuff. And it's going to help you make a build a lot more efficiently. It's not about making a good build. That's subjective. That's entirely subjective. But it's going to help you make a more efficient build for yourself and your playstyle if you know some of these things. So I hope this video helped you. I don't really know what we ended up even talking about. I can't even remember right now. I'm going to go through this footage and it's going to be all over the place. But thank you so much. If this video helped you in any way, please drop any type of love, a comment, a like, a sub, share it with a homie, whatever you want. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the comments, join the Discord, whatever you want to do. I answer all of it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.